good afternoon. I'm joined by Mr. Stephen Brown, a very familiar face, much loved face in the industry, and an industry trainer that is well known to all Kerfuffle members as well. The issue that most agents are facing at the moment is that we're having multiple conversations with buyers where we're having to turn away disappointed buyers. We can only sell every property once. And there is a well-documented stock shortage in terms of new instructions in the marketplace. And, you know, it's well known that you have run a course for many years now, turning your database into gold. So I thought, look, if we need to rustle some instructions out of thin air, Stephen Brown is the magician to do that. So I'm just wondering if you could give us some very focused, and we don't want to take a lot of your time, but we want to get some focused advice into agents, perhaps, you know, 2 or 3 techniques they can use today to generate instructions over the next couple of weeks, which are going to be very, very busy.
Okay, look, so I'm hearing exactly the same. I know agents up and down the country are incredibly busy, but they don't have enough properties for all the buyers out there. So one of the things is, our favourite saying is, what gets scheduled gets done. So for me, market appraisals are the lifeblood of any agency. Every agency should be scheduling at least 1 hour in their diary every single day to go through your customer base. And where I'll be focusing on, let's start with withdrawals. Okay, so have you gone through all your withdrawn customer base? You know, just ask them how their living accommodation's been in the last year. Very simple question. So David, how's your living accommodation? And you may say to me, you know what, it's too small. I need a garden. I need better broadband. I hate my wife. We're getting divorced. Whatever reason it is.
You're reading my mind. Don't do that, man.
You know, there may be multiple buyers on every property. So, you know, you've now got a reason to call them. So let's take, for example, what's the last property you sold?
So I sold a house this morning on Park Lane in Whitefield.
Park Lane in Mayfair. Fantastic.
Yeah.
So what I would do now is, and how long has Normie & Co been going?
Normie & Co been going for over 40 years.
Okay. So as you've been going for over 40 years, the chances are you've been to see other Park Lane properties in your area.
Yeah.
So I would be calling everybody that I've seen in Park Lane, and I'd just say, hi, David. I just want to let you know we've just sold your neighbour's properties. Would you like to know the new value of your home? Okay. And the majority of people are curious. That will open the door. That will get you in front of them. And whilst you're there, you can say, we're actually on the one next door. We have 14 buyers.
Yeah.
You know, there's only one that can buy it. So we've got 13 leftover buyers. You know, if we got you a incredible price, would you consider moving? They may say yes. And it only takes one of these. And actually, if let's monetize this. So if you go through your customer base every single day,
yeah,
and your aim is to get 1 market appraisal a day, okay, so that's 250 a year, and especially you've been going for 40 years. So if you imagine all the information on your CRM system.
Sure.
Okay? So
we're not going to talk about GDPR though, right?
Okay. No, you're absolutely fine. You can speak to them. Okay. You've got legitimate interest. Okay. So at one time or other, they've all wanted to do business with you. Okay. So that's 250. And let's say you convert 1 in 2 of those. So you pick up 125 instructions. And let's say you sell, well, at the moment, you most probably sell all of them, but let's just say you sell 70 of them. Okay.
Yeah.
And what's your average fee?
Say it's £3,000.
Perfect. Okay, so the average UK fee is £3,000.
Okay, yeah.
So that's an extra £210,000 worth of revenue.
I'll take that. Thank you very much.
Okay. So David and Normie & Co, is it worth spending 1 hour to prospect every day?
Yes, sir. That's the answer.
It is the answer.
So really what we're saying is there can be no more fertile time. Agents think they don't have time at the moment, but the truth is they need to make time. If you could make that extra hour a day and have those conversations with those vendors, there could be no more fertile a time than there is now to demonstrate to prospective sellers that they could achieve a price in today's market that they just simply won't see again for quite some time. So that's an interesting way of looking at it. And like you say, it's not a total cold call, is it? Because these are all people that you've already spoken to.
Look, it's a warm call. If I said to you, David, right behind you, there's the yellow pages. I want you to start at A and go to Z. You look at me and go, no way. This way, they already know the Normie and Co brand.
Yeah.
Know you. So hopefully they like you, they trust you. You've given them some fantastic service experience over the 40 years. They will want to do business with you. So, you know, that's one question. Another question I would ask the people in Park Lane, you know, really simple question. Can I ask who of your neighbours is next looking to sell in the street? Okay. Cost you nothing. Okay, really simple question to open the door. And the other thing is, how many transactions did you have in Prestwich last year?
So I've had a little recce. So in our core area, which is more than just Prestwich, but say over sort of the 3 or 4 postcodes that we tend to straddle, 986 houses were sold between April and April.
Okay. Now here's what's interesting, because I've asked this question to quite a few people and I've ended up picking up market appraisals from it. Okay. And this is people, so, you know, Chris Watkins of this world and other people will say, on average, people don't move 17 years for 17 years.
Yeah.
Okay. So I've managed to pick up market appraisals by asking people their property, and they've told me within the last year. And I've just said to them, how's your living space? And they've actually said to me, well, I've been working with my partner and it's too small. So I said, okay, so if I was to find you your dream home within your budget, would you consider moving again? 100%. And this is people that have bought within the last year, maybe less.
Yeah.
So again, are you going through, look, I find that 95% of agents are always looking at the short-term business. They're not looking at the long-term business. So I would go through all the properties that you've sold in your 40 years. And there'll be some people there that most probably want to downsize now. There'll be some people there that want to upsize now. There'll be sadly some people that have lost folks, and maybe there'll be probate sales as well. But there is so much gold in your customer base. And it's just asking questions. I wouldn't phone them up and go, David, hi, do you want a market appraisal?
Yeah.
No, you're not adding any value, but, you know, have a conversation, you know. So, you know, how have you found lockdown? How's your living space? What's happened? And you're just asking questions. And, you know, it could be, look, have you got any property needs that I can help you with? And all of a sudden, well, actually, I don't, but my family, my sister does.
Yeah.
And
I suppose at the very worst, all you're doing is that you're implementing a very nice and warm keep in touch policy anyway. You're having a conversation with a previous customer. You may have sold something for them. They may have bought something. So either buyer or seller, they're all potential sellers again in the future. And having that conversation, it certainly can't hurt.
Look, and there's various market reports out there that you can send people. So you've got Home Search, you've got Sprift, you know, there's some great companies there. So again, give them stuff that's going to be useful information. So send them a Home Search report, send them a Sprift report, and let them know what's going on in the area as well. Everybody I know is curious. You know, they want to know what's going. So it's just asking questions. And another simple question is, David, are you in your dream home? And a lot of people will say, well, actually, I'm not. So if I was to buy you your dream home within your budget, would you consider moving? You'd be surprised at how many say yes.
Yeah.
You know, and I appreciate prices are going up at the moment, but look how cheap money is. You know, your phone's your best friend. And, you know, and you mentioned actually time. Okay. I don't have the time for it. Well, I don't call it time management. I call it choice management. Okay. So if you have a market appraisal, say at 10 o'clock tomorrow, are you going to turn up? Of course you are, because it's in your diary.
Always.
Are you going to turn up to a viewing that you booked tomorrow at 12 o'clock? Of course you are. So for me, market appraisals are the lifeblood of any agency. If you don't have any market appraisals, you're not going to have anything to list. If you're lousy at listing, then you've got nothing to sell. And if you can't sell, you might as well shut up shop and go home. So really, as estate agents, the 4 disciplines that you have to master are prospecting, listing, selling, and negotiating. And if you can master those 4 skills, you're going to do exceptionally well. But the number one thing you need to do is consistently prospect. And for me, it's just about asking disruptive questions. Everybody that I seem to come across are curious to know what their property's worth. So, I'd just be asking people. So, David, how long have you lived in your home?
About 5 years now.
5 years, okay. And I want you to assume you're not an estate agent.
Okay.
So, out of interest, who did you buy it through?
Oh, really good estate agent in Prestwich and Whitefield called David Mintz from Normie and Company. Do you know what? Maybe not the most charismatic guy that you'll meet, but really good looking.
Okay, fine. So since you've been there, David, in the 5 years, what work have you done to your property?
So we've had bits and pieces done. Let's say we've had a new bathroom, we've had a new ensuite.
Okay. So out of interest, what do you think your property's worth today?
Do you know what? I haven't given it much thought.
Okay.
I'd hope it was worth more than I bought it for. I've heard that the market's on fire at the moment.
Okay. Well, you're curious to know what it's worth.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Well, look, obviously it's entirely up to you. I can do a face-to-face appointment, either 1 o'clock or 4 o'clock tomorrow, or if you prefer to do it via Zoom because of all the safety concerns, that's absolutely fine. When would be a good time for you?
5 o'clock tomorrow. Let's do it.
Perfect. See you then. Okay. That was hard.
No, see, I'm a pushover. I love being sold to. So these are all conversations that agents can have today. And they're very soft conversations. They don't need to be hard sales in any way. And all that agent needs in terms of equipment is a phone. That's all they need. A phone and a list of people that they've dealt with in the past.
And actually, I'm sure you've got some Kerfuffle members that most probably just started.
Yeah.
And they don't have a customer base of 40 years, but they do have a phone.
Yeah.
What I would say to them is, right, how many contacts do you have on your phone? Okay. Go through your A to Z and call every single person and say, look, I've got some really exciting news for you. I've become an estate agent. Okay. So do you know anybody looking to sell, rent, buy, or let a property out in Prestwich or wherever? And it's asking for recommendations. So here's a question for you. I'm sure you get asked this question a lot. How's the property market in Prestwich, David?
It's on fire, Stephen.
Fantastic. Now ask me that question, please.
Stephen, what is the property market like in Edgware today?
Great question, David. Can I ask, are you asking that question because you're looking to sell a property, buy a property, rent a property out, or you're looking to rent one?
Well, I'm thinking of possibly selling.
Okay, so now I know what the conversation's about. So it's great that you told me the market's on fire, but I didn't know that, you didn't know that I was looking to sell.
Yeah.
But now you've told me potentially you're looking to sell. So I'm going to start talking to you about the market being on fire, and there's most probably 8 buyers for every 1 property. So it's just asking things in a different way that's going to open doors for you. Does that make sense?
It does make sense, and it's about conveying that message, isn't it, to the public, and maybe on an individual basis, but telling them that there are multiple buyers and that you're having to turn people away. But genuinely, those conversations that people are having with buyers at the moment, they're really difficult. I cannot tell you that I spoke to a lady this morning whose daughter is selling a property in Brixton, somewhere like that, nowhere near where I operate. But she was telling me how she's had 3 offers on this place, 2 at 630, and she had another one at 665. and she was asking my opinion as an estate agent what they should do. I said, well, first of all, I don't know Brixton. She said, yes, but isn't it strange when you get one offer that's much higher than the others? I said, yeah, look, it is a concern as an estate agent when that happens, but context is everything. May I ask the agent what it is that what position are these buyers in? And once we asked the agent those questions, what the agent revealed to us was that these are buyers that have missed out on 6 houses now. Every time they've gone to bid on something, they've lost it. So this time they don't want to be let down. They want to get a transaction through before the end of the stamp duty dispensation. And so for them, it's worth going way over what the asking price was in order to secure it. So this is a unique time for sellers. They can take advantage of the situation that some buyers are in. But this is a story. I mean, that's Brixton. It's closer to you than it is to me.
Well, it's the same anywhere. We one of our colleagues in our mastermind was sharing a story yesterday where the property was on at 450, and they got an offer of 550,000, so £100,000
Wow.
over the asking price. So look, it's crazy. So I'll share with you a couple more things. Just firstly on that, because prices are going absolutely crazy. If I was an agent, I'll be asking for 10% overage on anything above the asking price that you can negotiate. So if you get an extra £10,000, 9,000 goes to the vendor, you get an extra 1,000. So again, that's going to make a difference to your business. And coming back to all these leftover buyers, I'd actually go down to the particular road and I'd do a short video and then post it on Facebook, in managed ads in that particular road. And I would say, we recently took this property on. It was sold, not going on the portals, whatever the story was.
Yeah.
We had 8 particular buyers on it. If you are thinking of selling your property, or you're just curious to know what your property's worth, please get in contact with me. If you just want to know anyway what's going on the market,
Yeah.
click on the link below. So give them a call to action, and that could be a home search report and a SPRIF report. And then you've captured their details as well.
Superb.
You're welcome. I've got loads more where they came from.
Thank you. Well, no, there genuinely is loads more where that came from, and we're going to keep talking to you every now and again. We're going to check in with you because I think that this market's a moving target at the moment, and there are other problems that are going to come up next as we get closer to the stamp duty deadline. But we'll save all of those shenanigans for later. Right now, people need to look at boosting their stocks. We're immensely grateful for your tips and your guidance, and can I just say, it's great to see you back.
Thank you. It's great to be back, and especially to come back with you.